The best news in technology and beyond. This is Crocels News.
This is Angel Garden reporting on cyber technology, education and inclusion. A tribunal judgment in February 2018 found that autistic pupil Hayden Damerel had been unfairly excluded from Burnt Mill Academy in Harlow, Essex, a school rated outstanding by Ofsted. In summing up, Judge Rowley commented that the question of Hayden's actual education appears to have become secondary to the zero tolerance policy of the school in relation to his behaviour, and further commented that aggressive behaviour is not a choice for children with autism. The judge also added that, in my judgment, the Secretary of State has failed to justify maintaining in force a provision which excludes from the ambit of the protection of the Equality Act children whose behaviour in school is a manifestation of the very condition which calls for special educational provision to be made for them. In simple language, this means that Hayden's aggressive behaviour was a part of his condition, so the school needed to make a reasonable adjustment for it under the Equality Act. The case, which was funded by the Equality and Human Rights Commission, centred on the fact that children with disabilities that mean they have a tendency to physically abuse aren't protected by the Equality Act. This case could have far-reaching consequences and already appears to have led to a consultation and publication on the 18th of July 2018 of a report called Forgotten Children, Alternative Provision and the Scandal of Ever-Increasing Exclusions, which was published by the House of Commons. This report found at paragraph 36 that the government's strong focus on school standards has led to school environments and practices that have resulted in disadvantaged children being disproportionately excluded, which includes a curriculum with a lack of focus on developing pupils' social and economic capital. There appears to be a lack of moral accountability on the part of many schools, and no incentive to, or deterrent to not, retain pupils who could be classed as difficult or challenging. At paragraph 44, the report also found that the exclusions process is weighted in favour of schools and often leaves parents and pupils navigating an adversarial system that should be supporting them, and found also that part of the reason for the uneven weighting of power is that the Education Act 2011 removed the right to reinstatement, so an independent review panel can't enforce a reinstatement. Well, that would do it. The National Autistic Society cited children on the autism spectrum as being 3 times more likely to be excluded than children without special educational needs, and data from the Welsh Government in 2017 shows that children with special educational needs had 10 times the rate of temporary exclusions from Welsh schools compared with those without. This data also showed 4 times the rate of short-term exclusions among pupils who are entitled to free school meals. I've been discussing inclusive education, blended learning, Classroom 2.0 and the power dynamics between teachers and pupils with Jonathan Bishop. You've got a very forward-thinking and individualistic view of the internet, which is quite unusual. It seems to underlie much of your approach towards learning, and I noticed that you attribute behavioural problems in the classroom to the authority relationship between teachers and students.
Well, yes, I find that in the summer schools and Easter academies I run with young people, where they get to use our closed servers where they can only access pre-approved content. Even though we've restricted it to approved content, the fact that they could go and search for what they want and then create things from it is a sense of freedom that doesn't come where you have a teacher standing in front of a whiteboard saying, this is what you've got to believe, I'm telling you to believe it. So the idea is that you bring the curriculum out of the people that are in the classroom.
The students, you mean?
Yeah, so I've always had problems in classrooms where if the tutor says something I disagree with, I'll say so, and I'm treated like a troublemaker, but I actually want every student to be able to be like that, so that the teacher, instead of rushing through a PowerPoint slide, actually draws knowledge out of each student and then creates a common truth. So everyone in that class feels they have a shared knowledge rather than just being lectured to.
Not too many people are looking at the internet with that much foresight.
Well, the problem has been, as I found when I was a school governor, that very few teachers had IT skills and very few were willing to update their IT skills. And anyone who tries to change the status quo is treated like a troublemaker. So I've pretty much been drawn to designing all these technologies and patents because I can build it and then people can buy it, and it won't be a matter of me having to be on governor boards trying to change, because if parents have the technology at home, they'll demand it be used at school. The way I presented it was a parent could be wearing a Google Glass-like device and it's got an EEG pulse on it.
Right.
So what could happen is it would come through and show if there's harmful content. And let's say the parents close their eyes or they're so tired, the device would put a pulse through their brain to wake them up. Yeah.
Thanks very much for that. See you next time.
Yeah.
The best news in technology and beyond. This is Crocels News.